Everyone, my name is Nika. Welcome to my channel. The story I'm going to talk about today is Cinderella. Now I'm going to tell you the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Ella who lived with her mother and father. One unfortunate day, Ella's mother died, and her father, even though he gave her all the luxuries she could ever want, he still believed she needed a mother's care. Ella's father married another woman who had two daughters who were Ella's age, named Bertha and Gertrude. It was upon the death of Ella's father, however, that the stepmother and stepsister's true colors were revealed. They were cold, cruel, and barely jealous of Ella because she was everything they weren't: pretty, nice, hardworking, independent, talented, intelligent, and successful. They made Ella do chores all day, and she was never allowed to have any fun. At night, Ella would sleep on the floor amongst the cinders and ashes. Her stepsisters called her Cinderella because one time when she was cleaning the fireplace, she got cinders in her hair. One day, there was an invitation to a royal ball. All the women in the kingdom were invited, but Cinderella's stepfamily didn't let her go, so she had to stay home and clean. A few minutes later, a fairy godmother appeared, and she said that she could make it possible for Cinderella to go to the ball. She told her to get a pumpkin for her, and she turned it into a majestic carriage. Then she turned 6 mice into horses and 6 lizards into footmen. Last but not least, she transformed Cinderella's rags into a beautiful ball gown with a pair of glass slippers, but warned her to get back by midnight, because then everything will go back to the way it was. Cinderella rode the carriage to the ball and was so excited. She was finally going to have some fun. She found the prince, and the prince immediately fell in love with her, so she wanted to dance with her. Everybody wondered, who is that mysterious girl who was so beautiful? Then she realized it was almost midnight, and at midnight she ran away from the palace. The next night, Cinderella also went to the ball and danced with the prince. People still wondered, who is she? But at midnight, when she was running down the stairs, she left behind one of her glass slippers. But she thought, I don't have time to pick it up, I have to go. And then everything turned back to the way it was, except for the glass slipper that she still had on her feet. The prince picked up the glass slipper and told his father that he wants to marry the girl who fits it. He went on a search, and he didn't find anybody who fit the slipper so far. When he arrived at Cinderella's house, the stepsisters tried it on, but it didn't fit, so they tried to force their feet into the slipper, but it didn't work. Then Cinderella came into the room and put on the slipper, and it was a perfect fit. The prince realized that she was the one who was dancing with him, and then they were married, and the stepsisters apologized to Cinderella, and she was kind enough to forgive them. Then Cinderella and the prince lived happily ever after. The end. Now I'm going to give you some information on the fairy tale Cinderella. Cinderella was written by French author Charles Perrault. The ending, I would say it's happy since Cinderella and the prince get married, and the lesson is that kindness is rewarded, whereas selfishness is not. That was the story of Cinderella. So if you like this story, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.